What's up? It's your old rope flow coach, and I've helped thousands of people learn the skill and art of rope flow. And it makes sense that so many people want to join in our free Rope Flow Essentials course because, rope flow is a lot of fun, right? And it's also excellent for your joints, your core, your spine, your brain health, your heart health, really your entire body. But one question I get asked all the time is, can you really get ripped just from spinning this little rope around? And the short answer is absolutely you can, right? But only if you train the right way. So today, I'm gonna teach you exactly how to train with the rope in case your goal is to get a lean and ripped physique. But first, let's talk about getting ripped. What exactly does that even mean, right? So it only takes two things to get ripped. One, you gotta build some muscle. And two, you gotta burn enough fat so that you can see those muscles. And that's it. It's not about looking like a bodybuilder or having any bulk per se. It's about building lean, functional physique that actually works and you can actually see some of the muscles you worked so hard to build. All right, so look, I know some of you are going to be skeptical about the power of this simple little rope to help you get ripped. So I want to give you a quick analogy because if you've ever seen boxers, you know that they are typically shredded, right? But what you might not know is that most of them will never touch a weight. And so you might say, well, how do they do it? How do they get in that kind of shape with no weights? And what does any of that have to do with rope flow, right? Okay, seriously, rope flow obviously is not boxing, but they do check a lot of the same boxes when it comes to training and fitness. And more importantly, when you pick up a rope, you do it right. You don't have to worry about anybody punching you in the head. I digress. Let's get back to the boxers, right? Because they famously avoid training with heavy weights because they know that big, bulky, stiff muscles prevent them from having the athleticism and fluidity that they need for their chosen sport. So instead, they throw hundreds of punches and train with things like plyometrics and calisthenics. And the result is, they're absolutely shredded. And that's because they train like athletes and not like bodybuilders, right? And rope flow can work in very much the same way. It's like shadow boxing, but with constant feedback from the rope. Because you're rotating, you're twisting, and conditioning your fascia, moving your whole body with rhythm for thousands of reps, and that adds up fast. All right, so if you want to use rope flow to get ripped, there's two different approaches I recommend, okay? And one is if you want to just use the rope as your primary training vehicle, you don't really want to do any, ancillary training along with the rope. And in that case, you want to make sure you do three things. And you can mix and match these things so you can do all three at once or you can change it up. But the first is high intensity interval training with the rope. I like to use Tabatas where you go for 20 seconds as fast as you can go and then 10 seconds rest, and you do that for 8 rounds, and that'll be a quick training session. You do that 2 or 3 times a week, sometimes maybe 4 depending on your fitness level, and that's great. The second thing is to incorporate lots of level changes, okay? You want to sink those hips, get into some squat positions, some lunging positions while you're doing your flows, and that will not only keep your heart rate elevated, but it'll get you a full body conditioning, get that lower body even more involved than normal. And lastly, you can pick up a heavier rope and use that to train with. So that'll give you even greater benefits for your shoulders, your core, really your whole body with that heavier rope. You want to be careful with that. You don't want to go too heavy. You don't need a super duper heavy rope. Something like 2 to 3 pounds for most people constitutes heavy. But when you combine those things, you can either use a heavy rope for high intensity intervals, you can use heavy ropes with your level changes, or you can do all three at one time, depending on your fitness level and your goals and your ability. But either do them separately or together, and that will help you get to a much more ripped physique from just rope flow. Now for me, rope flow really shines when you combine it with something simple like calisthenics, right? Body weight training. Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and the like. So here's a sample workout for a full body training session. We're gonna do pull-ups, rope flow, push-ups, rope flow, squats, rope flow. And you can repeat that for as many rounds as you want. The specifics are up to you, right? The way I tend to do it is I'll go with using full control. I don't wanna have too much momentum. I don't wanna be going too fast. It's not about how many reps I get, it's about the quality of each rep. And I'll stop usually with a rep or two in the tank, or when I find that I can't maintain proper form, that's when it's time to stop that set. Then I'll grab my rope and I'll use that rope until I feel the fatigue from the previous set is, kind of gone away. and I'll get back to the next set. Now, you can also split this up if you want into splits. I don't mean like, bodybuilding type splits. I mean more like having a push day, a pull day, and a legs day, that kind of a split. And if you do that, you can either do it for 3 days a week, or if you want, you can do 6 days a week, depending on how fit you are and what your goals are. But in any case, don't go kill yourself with it, right? You want to do it as long as it still feels fun. As soon as it starts to feel like work, then I'm done, I'm out. There's something else to do with the rest of my day. So this little session here, I'll speed it up, but it's actually about 5 or 6 minutes, and it's a full body workout. And when I say the rope flow in between, it's just, mostly I just do it for fun. Sometimes I might do it for, I might be doing certain drills to see if I want to improve this or work on that. But usually I just do it for fun, just a free flow, just to keep that body warm and keep those, those joints and those limbs all nice and loose. It allows me sometimes to do even more reps than I can when I don't have my rope flow, so it's a perfect companion. And you wind up having very efficient training with this kind of practice. It's much better than the sitting down in between your sets and reps and doom scrolling on your phone, right? So try this out and see how you like it. So does rope flow build muscle? Now look, if you're just using the rope alone, you're not going to be looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger anytime soon. But when you pair rope flow with something like calisthenics, now you've got a recipe for something that will have you moving, feeling, and looking like an athlete. And that is exactly why boxers look like boxers and why rope flow is such a powerful tool, because it helps you build a functional and fit physique that is great for everything that you need to do, and not just for posing on stage in front of strangers. Now, if you are new to rope flow and you haven't learned the basics yet, check out our free but comprehensive Rope Flow Essentials course. I'll put a link in the description. And if you really want to get some training in, right, if you want to use rope flow for your training vehicle, check out our free training dojo. I'll put a link for that in the description as well. And we will see you in the next video. Let us know what you think in the comments below.